guys, today I'm gonna be reacting to a video called Lars Andersen, a new level of archery. So I don't really know much about this, and by much I mean absolutely nothing. I know it's a sport, obviously. I think it's something that looks easy in a way, because it's just like when you're seeing it, when you're watching it, it's just like, well, just like do this. And it's like, well, yes, technically that's what it is. But I've tried it, like, I think a couple of times in my life. Not actually, I've never really, I've never shoot an arrow, but I tried the whole thing. And it's just like, I don't really understand the mechanics because it's very hard to like get the technique properly. And, just like, you have to like grab, you have to put your hand here, and you also have to like grab your arm, and you have to like do this. It's a whole situation that is very complicated. At least the times that I've tried it, it's like I've considered it to be like a very complicated sport. So I don't know, it always surprises me when people are like so good at this, but I don't know how young they were before they started. So I'm guessing this guy is gonna be like a pretty famous guy in this world. I don't know, but hopefully we're gonna find out. So let's check it out.
Centuries ago, master archers were able to perform incredible feats of archery. These skills have long since been forgotten, but the Danish archer Lars Andersen is trying to reinvent what has been lost.
What on earth?
He uses forgotten historical methods and holds all his arrows in the same hand he shoots with. Once, this technique was widespread, and Assyrian artwork shows that the method is at least 5,000 years old.
What?
Arab Archery, the most extensive historical book ever made about archery, states, "This is the best type of shooting, and there's nothing beyond it in power or accuracy." Using this technique, Lars has set several speed shooting records and shoots more than twice as fast as his closest competitors. And being able to shoot fast is just one of the benefits of the method.
Okay. Oh my
But the big question is, why has it been forgotten today? About 10 years ago, Lars started using a bow. The arrows he carried in a quiver on his back. Surprisingly, the quiver turned out to be useless when it came to moving fast. The back quiver is a Hollywood myth and was not common in the past, but it is still spread all over the world. Why? Because modern archers do not move. They stand still, firing at a target board, something that was unknown in the past. These archers also started placing the arrow on the left side of the bow, just as archers do in movies. This is probably due to the fact that aiming at a stationary two-dimensional target makes you aim with one eye instead of two. This one-eyed aiming also led to bows with front sights and other technical gadgets, but that's another story. However, placing the arrow left around the bow is not good while you're in motion. By placing the arrow on the left side, your hand is on the wrong side of the string, so you need several movements before you can actually shoot. From studying old pictures of archers, Lars discovered that some historical archers held their arrows on the right side of the bow. This means that the arrow can be drawn and fired in one single motion, which is both faster and better. And this was not the only problem with archery today. Lars realized that what we thought was historical archery only works well for modern target archery and Hollywood films. If he wanted to learn to shoot like the master archers of old, he would have to unlearn what he had learned and start reading historical manuscripts instead. He would have to find his way back to a time when archery was simpler and more natural. Exactly like throwing a ball. In essence, making archery as simple as possible. It is harder to learn how to shoot this way, but it gives more options, and ultimately, it's also more fun. A war archer must have total control over his bow in all situations, and must be able to handle his bow and arrows in a controlled way under the most varied of circumstances. The old manuscripts told Lars that master archers could shoot the bow with both hands.
Oh my god, he does it in both? That's crazy!
Still hit the target, so he began practicing. It is also described that an archer in motion must be able to hit a blade so that the arrow splits in two parts, like this. Archers could also pick up enemy arrows and shoot them back, or grab arrows while on the move and fire them rapidly. There are even myths of archers who could grab an enemy's arrow and shoot it back at him.
Do not try this at home. No, it wouldn't.
Lars took it a step further and is now able to catch an arrow while jumping and fire it before he hits the ground. Perhaps most importantly, modern slow archery has led people to believe that war archers only shot at long distances.
Yeah, I
think. Lars found that they could shoot at any distance, even up close.
Well, technically, yes, but oh my god,
It does require the ability to fire fast, though. In the beginning, archers probably drew arrows from quivers or belts, but since then, they started holding the arrows in the bow hand, and later in the draw hand. Taking it to this third level, that of holding arrows in the draw hand, requires immense practice and skill, and only professional archers, hunters, and so on would have had the time for it. When guns started replacing bows, this technique was forgotten. And the only reason Lars is able to do it is because he's spent years practicing intensely.
Well, I would imagine, of course. That's
the hard part is not learning how to hold the arrows, but learning how to handle them properly and draw and fire in one single motion, no matter what method is used.
I think
it works in all positions. And while in motion, whether rolling, running, or on horseback.
What is this guy doing, seriously? No way!
It also works with sharp arrows and powerful bows. And while there is no doubt that those war archers of the past were stronger and more fit than Lars is, his arrows still penetrate chainmail armor and the heavy gambazon worn beneath it. It is difficult to compare actual striking power, though. Modern archers use only one hand, but in the past, some archers allegedly used both hands to give the arrow more power. Old manuscripts tell us that it was common to hold 3 arrows in the draw hand at once while keeping more in a belt quiver. We know that some archers held more, and in a way, the bow was the ultimate weapon. Who can escape 10 arrows fired quickly after another?
You can't.
From old texts, we know that Saracen archers were expected to be able to fire 3 arrows in 1.5 seconds, and very skilled archers were even faster.
What?
Lars has managed to shoot 3 arrows in 0.6 seconds, but while speed is important, hitting the target is essential. To test accuracy and speed at the same time, Lars set up an experiment where he shot incoming arrows with arrows of his own.
This is insane. Do not even attempt to do this.
But he took it one step further. In the 1938 movie, The Adventures of Robin Hood, Robin Hood splits an arrow down the middle. Some consider this the ultimate archery trick. They're wrong.
Okay.
The ultimate archery trick is splitting an incoming arrow in 2 with one of your own. We do not recommend you trying this at home.
You absolutely do not try this.
Thank you for watching.
Okay, so this was crazy. I'm kind of speechless. I was not expecting this. Because again, I just mentioned like how hard I found like the few times that I've attempted this, it's like very hard. And I've seen, like the sport, like just in general, I know that people, it's a sport and it's crazy. Like the whole bowl is like this whole situation. It's very big. And I'm always like, of people that do this, but this is like to the next level, that and to the next level. It's crazy. Like what on earth is this guy? Like it's crazy. Obviously it's like, I don't even know if this is like, obviously it's a sport. It's a hobby. I don't know if he actually like, does he get medals for this? Can he actually participate in like in the Olympics? Or is this just like, no, you can't really do that, but he just like, he's doing it because obviously this guy's gonna be like super famous and one of the like, I don't know, like one of the masters of archery in the world. But I'm wondering if he also gets like some sort of medal or there's like some sport that or thing that makes you like, can you compete like some competition, or you're just doing it for the love of the game? It's like, no, I'm not earning any medals or anything or trophies. I'm just doing it to be known, and people are probably gonna come to me and be like, hey, teach me your ways. It's crazy because he's like, a few years ago he was like, you know what, I'm gonna attempt to do this. It's like, okay, how long did it take them to actually like master all these things, because all those incredible tricks? It's like he says like it took him years. Obviously he wasn't starting from this base level of like doing nothing, but it's just like, oh, I've never attempted archery before and I'm gonna start doing all these tricks. But a lot of these tricks, I think they made it sound like they were sort of like newer for him. Like he just woke up one day and was like, you know what, I'm gonna attempt to do this. And obviously he was trying to like study the old texts and stuff, but obviously I'm guessing he was already like a master archer by that point. He wasn't starting from like a base level of like, I'm gonna do this. It's crazy. But again, it's like, I like the fact that it's just like very old-timey, because again, they do mention like, and that's what I've seen in like archery in like as a sport these days, you're always like seeing them, they're standing and there's like a target and you have to hit it. But he's like, no, he throws it back. It's like a throwback. It's like a vintage situation. It's like, no, I want to be like an archer as they had it like back in those days, where it was just like, oh yeah, you have to be jumping around and moving, because obviously it was they used it to actually like defend themselves. So it's like, you need to have, it's like the mastery. I don't know if it's like, I wouldn't want to say superior, but maybe it is a little bit, because I think when you're, again, knowing anything about this, is like, again, when you're just standing, I think it's going to be easier if you're just like standing and you have to hit a target. But this situation, it's like, I think a million times harder, because you're moving around and all things like the targets are moving around. So it's like, yes, I like the fact that it's like very old timey. It looks crazy out of context though. Like just a guy jumping all over and being all like running as if you were running from something, but it's just like all okay, just like to show you all these tricks, and he's just like running and like jumping in the air and like hitting things, and it's just like, oh my god, what is this guy doing? It's kind of like crazy that he's just like, no, he's doing it obviously because he can do it basically. That he's like, okay, again, seeing this stuff out of context, it's gonna be like, what is this, like, has this man lost his head? But I love it. It's like, it's very vintage. I don't know if people even like do these kind of things. Is he the only one doing this, or do they have like a group, like a text chain, or like a group chain or something of like several like archers that are attempting to bring back like this old techniques and these old methods? Because I would love to know, or he's like the only one crazy enough to attempt this. I think the craziest one was like the one, it was, I don't know what thing it was. It was like this small, and he he threw it out in the air, and he just like, whoa, and he like split it into, it's like, oh my god, that's crazy. And also obviously the arrow that in the air, I don't even know, all of them were crazy, all of them were equally insane. And the one that he like had like a few arrows, and he was just like constantly like throwing them, that's also insane. All of them were crazy. It's like, I don't even know which one's my favorite, because again, they were all insane. But also I do have to say, because besides obviously like the technique that you gotta have in your arms, and it's, I think, probably it's also a mental thing, that you have to have like great eyesight, because it's like the thing is like that small, and there's like so many like things you have to be like you have to have like 20/20 eyesight, and you can't be like short-sighted, nearsighted, far-sighted, you can be anything. Because I'm also like, if you wear glasses, and how are you attempting this? I don't think you can, right? I don't know, maybe this guy, maybe he has like, contacts on, and maybe he's like, no, my eyesight's very poor, but I have my contacts. Maybe I would love to also ask them, like, did you got LASIK, or did you just like blessed you don't really have any problems with your eyesight? Because also I think you need to have like the size of all of that, that is just like a muscle situation, and just like practice a lot of years. I don't think you can fight, if you have like bad eyesight, you can't really fight that unless you wear glasses or you get LASIK. So it's like, I can't really fight against nature. So also would love to know, or just like blessed, because otherwise, if he doesn't really have, he has like perfect eyesight, he's like, well, you were one of the blessed ones. Like, they blessed you with, you have to do this in your life. You have to be an archer, and this be old-timey archer, bringing back like old techniques. But yeah, would love to know that. Also, I'm surprised by this guy. Maybe he's like super fake, because obviously I don't know anything about this. Doesn't he get hired for movies and shows? Because it's like this level of talent, I think, should be used, be like for something else, not just like for himself. But I think more people should be aware of this guy, and not just like people that are like in this world of archery. So I'm wondering if this hasn't gotten like any offers to like participate in films and shows, or maybe he has and I'm just like completely unaware. But also like, good idea, I don't know. But yeah, that was it for today, and I'll see you soon. Bye.